Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at a case where a 19-year-old was arrested for impersonating a deputy and pulling over unsuspecting drivers while wearing full police gear. On January 1st, 2023, the Choctaw Police Department received a report of a suspicious man driving an unmarked sedan and stating that he was a sheriff. The report also highlighted that the man had pulled over at least 2 vehicles in the Choctaw area while wearing a duty belt and ballistic vest. In fact, one of the drivers called 911 and claimed that he was stopped by a man in a vehicle with flashing lights who said that he was an undercover police officer. As a result of the series of complaints, Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to investigate the situation and attempted to locate the suspect. Shortly after, 2 officers approached a vehicle that matched the description provided by the victims.
Do you have any weapons in the car or anything like that? Like a gun or anything?
I don't have no weapon. I don't even have a gun.
Okay.
I'm 19 years old. I ain't gonna cause if this is gonna cause problems and the truck's over there, I'm just gonna take off the vest. And I'm from Tennessee, so.
Okay. Why are you wearing the vest?
Like I said, I drove from all the way from Tennessee, but I'm not gonna have people call me when I don't even live in this damn state.
Okay.
It's gonna piss me off.
You're a deputy sheriff?
I work at the sheriff's office.
Okay.
So, what?
Were you a corrections officer for the
Yes.
sheriff's office? Okay. Why do you wear a vest outside of the facility? Is this an agency vehicle, or is this your personal vehicle?
This is my Kia.
Okay. It's just a little odd, because whenever I worked in the jail, I took my crap off, especially if I was taking a long drive from Tennessee.
That's what I say, man. If I
Look,
work
I will tell you guys
I'm
the same thing. I have been pulled over so many times in Tennessee and Arkansas.
Right.
Okay? They know. I have told them every single
That
time.
might be true, but
And
it's just a
Oklahoma's
little
pulled me
odd.
over before too, wearing this stuff. Every time I come up here, they don't. All they say is it's just odd. I never see it. I was
Right.
well, guess what? Yeah, I like wearing it.
The man here is 19-year-old Jackson Jones, a resident of Tennessee who appeared to be wearing a full set of police gear. As proven by the body cam footage, both officers who made initial contact with Mr. Jones were rightfully confused and skeptical. It is not the norm for off-duty law enforcement to be dressed in uniform out in public. According to the Standards for Employee Personal Appearance document published on Oklahoma City's official government website, even though it is not specifically stated that an officer is forbidden to wear a uniform when off-duty, it can definitely be implied by taking a look at one of the points mentioned under the proper display of badges heading. It stated that badges will not be openly displayed while the employee is off-duty. By extension, it's obvious that wearing a uniform as an off-duty officer would also be disallowed. However, this would be of concern only if Mr. Jones was an actual law enforcement officer. To clarify this confusion, one of the officers asked Mr. Jones if he had any sort of proof that would authenticate his claims of being a sheriff, and in response to this, Mr. Jones alleged that he was not given any sort of document by his department that would prove his occupation. This was, of course, an obvious lie, since it is mandatory for every member of law enforcement to be handed a badge of identification.
Just like in Tennessee, I got pulled over for it, and guess what?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's against the law or anything. It's just
And I've even
odd.
had it taken off, and I've had it set right here before, and they're like, and I get yelled at for it. They're like, well, it's kind of weird that you got your belt and your vest.
You got any kind of employment identification?
Dude, they don't give me that when you work at the jail.
Really? You don't have like an access card or an ID badge or anything for the facility that you work at?
I don't. I can show you my face though. That helps you. Think I'm lying. You all think I'm lying. I mean, you can shut stuff.
Well, so my only deal is when you wear.
Finance, Campbell County. Here you go.
Yeah.
This
Are
is
you
my
commissioned to
face,
carry a gun?
No, I'm not even.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
I don't even have a gun on me.
Well, you realize wearing the sheriff on your chest is basically impersonating law enforcement,
Is that
whether or not you're carrying a gun.
Jackson?
Okay. But are you commissioned to be carrying a gun, and do you have arrest powers?
I don't. What do you mean? I don't even have a gun. I'm just
That's beside the fact. You're wearing a patch that says sheriff.
okay.
That's impersonating law enforcement.
I wore it all the time at the jail before, though.
Okay, well that might be true and fine within the jail, but when you come out to public, you don't have any arrest powers. You're not commissioned.
Okay, I'll just.
Do you understand?
The officer pointed out that wearing a vest with the word sheriff on it is considered an impersonation of law enforcement. According to Oklahoma statutes Title 21, it stated that any person who shall, without due authority, exercise or attempt to exercise the functions of or hold himself or herself out to anyone as a deputy sheriff, marshal, police officer, constable, or peace officer shall, upon conviction, be guilty of a misdemeanor, punishable by imprisonment in the county jail for not more than 1 year, or by a fine not exceeding $100, or by both such fine and imprisonment. Taking this into account, it appears that Mr. Jones definitely fell under this category of impersonation. As this went on, the officer noticed an open container of alcohol in Mr. Jones's vehicle. Upon pointing it out, Mr. Jones told the officer that it did not belong to him. However, the officer informed Mr. Jones that it didn't matter whose it was. As long as it was inside his vehicle, he would be charged with an open container violation anyway. After this exchange, the officer explained that since Mr. Jones was definitely not a sheriff and certainly didn't have any arrest powers, he was concerned with the sheriff's patch that was on Mr. Jones' ballistic vest.
I understand that. I don't understand what you're talking
And you got alcohol in the vehicle.
about. Well, it's not mine.
Well, that's beside the point.
It's my girlfriend.
But,
And I don't drink, so...
well, it doesn't matter. You realize transporting open container, if any of that's open or partially missing, that it doesn't matter whose it is. If you're in the vehicle with it, you can be arrested for transporting open container.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's not... I literally... It's not mine, man. She bought it. She lives up there in Luther.
Have you ever heard the phrase of when guys get hemmed up for drugs in their pockets and they say these pants aren't mine? You realize how stupid that is?
I clear traffic 0955.
Okay.
But
So let's stop saying it, all right?
I understand. I
Okay.
I just want to go on my way. I'm not from here, so...
All right.
I mean, there's proof right there. But like I told them, I just want to take it off. I'll take it off.
That's fine. I'd much rather you just take the sheriff patch off.
I mean, I could do that.
Because if you're not commissioned to be a sheriff deputy or a police officer,
Well, you're a sheriff, and I understand why you got that.
I am a deputy sheriff. Yes.
But but I'm trying to be nice to you. I'm trying to be nice to you guys. I understand why you got called. Why?
Right. But if you walk around with a vest carrier on with sheriff on your chest and you're not a sheriff, you may work for the sheriff's office, but you work in a jail and you're not commissioned outside of the jail to carry a gun or have any arrest powers.
Okay, I understand.
All right?
But I told them I'll just take it off because
Okay.
I'm not from here. I live in Tennessee. I got a Tennessee plate. Okay. I'm not trying to cause any problem.
Okay. Does your command at where you work at know that you go around in the public with the vest on with the sheriff on your chest?
Right, and if you like to play,
I mean, they know about it. They don't have to wear it. I mean,
But you wear it anyways?
Well, I'm tired, and I
and
just want to go to bed.
You wear it to drive all the way from Tennessee to Choctaw, Oklahoma?
Oh, man, I'm going to Oklahoma City.
Right.
However long it was to get down here, it's not a good interaction for us to know you that you're wearing your stuff outside of work.
I know that.
Especially if
I'm
you're trying to get
I'm
into
trying
law
to move up here with my mom so I can be a cop up here because she lives up here, and I'm trying to be a cop, but
And you're 19?
yeah, I'm 19, but they won't let me be. They don't. I've already put applications in, but I still got residents down there in Tennessee, obviously.
Right.
You know, I got address on there.
So what are you going to Oklahoma City for?
Huh?
What are you headed to Oklahoma City for?
I'm going to 122 Northwest Street.
What are you doing?
Department.
Apartment? You live there?
No, my mom does.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
I mean, I'm not trying to cause any trouble, man. I mean,
Okay.
like I told them, I'm just trying to move up here. Hopefully, if I can. I ain't got the money right now.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to come see her for New Year's, man. That's it.
Right.
I really don't want to.
Did she used to live in Tennessee, or did you move out to Tennessee, or what's the deal on that? Why she live here and you live in Tennessee?
Because my mom and dad split.
Oh, okay. So you live in Tennessee where your dad lives or whatever? Okay.
Then, the second officer on the scene asked Mr. Jones about a subject who was in a truck that had been allegedly stopped by Mr. Jones a few minutes prior. This subject plays a big role in this encounter later down the line. Anyway, Mr. Jones claimed that the subject was staring at him, and all Mr. Jones did was walk over to the subject and ask what was up. It's to be noted that Mr. Jones' version of the story was completely different from the reports the department had received, which claimed that Mr. Jones had pulled people over with flashing lights.
So did you get out of your car or something here in the parking lot?
Okay, I got out of the car. There
Yeah.
was a truck that he looked at me. That's all I did. I never said anything like law enforcement wise or nothing. He looked at me and he was laughing. So I just like go to his car and I was like, "Did you eat me or something like that?" That's it. And I just like walked away.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. That's all I did, man. I'm being
So
serious.
you were just in the driveway and he was just looking at you?
I got out of my car, but I was gonna go inside.
Oh, okay.
He looked at me, and then I just went up to his truck. I was like, okay. And then he just said, I was just looking at you, man. So I was just looking at your car. That was it. I mean, you can watch the video tape on McDonald's. I'm not trying to cause any trouble.
That's alright. And you don't have a gun with you or anything like that?
I don't. You can search the car.
I can search the car?
I mean,
Is that what you said?
You asked me if I had a gun on me. I don't have a gun on me.
I was just asking if you had a gun on you. You
No,
said
I really
something about
don't.
I can search the car.
I don't.
You don't mind if I search the car?
I don't care if you search the car.
Okay, cool. Step on out if you don't mind.
Amidst this, Mr. Jones stated that he had no problem with the officer searching his vehicle for anything. Therefore, the officer asked Mr. Jones to step out of his vehicle and remove his ballistic vest for officer safety purposes. Mr. Jones was consequently placed in the back of a patrol vehicle while both officers on the scene investigated the situation.
Drop your cord there. Alright, face the vehicle. I'll just check you for, make sure you don't have any guns or nothing.
I'm not trying to cause any trouble.
Okay. Alright, if you wouldn't, that's fine. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and take the vest off and just sit it in the car.
Hold on. Okay. Who are you? Like,
So do you wear this vest carrier on duty
No.
in the jail?
I mean, like I can. I usually wear it under my hood shirt.
Okay.
what vehicle was it that you stopped and talked to?
I didn't stop at no vehicle.
No, I mean, you said that you stopped and talked
You
to
talked
somebody.
And there was some truck, but then he left out of the parking lot.
Okay.
But all I did, literally, I went up to
Let's go ahead. Get the vest off for me. And the only reason I'm having you take it off is so I don't have to worry about the knives or anything you may have on you.
Really?
That's fine. I mean, I've seen a lot worse. All right, if you'll just go sit on the curb up there. Yeah, that's fine.
Like I said, I'm not trying to have no problem.
Okay. We'll just check everything out. If everything's good, then we'll go on. Why don't we go have a seat in my Tahoe? We'll have a seat in my Tahoe. No, back seat. Who are you on the phone with?
That's my girlfriend. She lives over there in Winter.
Okay. Let me hang up the phone. We can't have people in the back seat with phones. Alright. Thanks.
Thank you. You want the unit 1090?
251.
Connect.
On that Edward
He does have open
Frank
container.
Charles 348.
One empty
Gonna
bottle,
be a
one
white
partially
cruiser.
missing bottle. and then 2 more to go, and it was a pack of 6.
He looks like he's been driving for a bit.
Right. Just all kinds of red flags, man. I asked him if he wore it at work. He acted like it wouldn't be a big deal if he wore it at work, but then, like, okay, do you or do you not? Yeah, it does have a Kevlar thing in here. That's supposed to be the rear, and it's on the front.
3A? There's no way that's 3A.
Yeah, it could be.
What did whoever you talked to say?
My lieutenant. So pretty much he had to have attempted to act like law enforcement, like trying to make a traffic stop.
After discussing the situation, both officers decided to check if Mr. Jones could call one of his supervisors back at his alleged department. After the officer handed Mr. Jones his phone back, he slipped up and said that he hadn't been to work for 2 weeks. This made it even more clear that Mr. Jones was impersonating law enforcement, as there was no logical reason left behind to believe otherwise.
See if he'll give us a contact number for a supervisor at work or something. I'm gonna shut this other door.
No, if you have contact information for a supervisor. I wouldn't worry about the jail thing right now.
I really don't want to go to jail. With the beer part, like I said, that it's not in my possession, right?
It is in your possession. It's in your car.
By you owning the vehicle, it being in your vehicle, and it sitting beside you, that is considered possession. I understand that.
I mean, I've got put up before.
I'm gonna try. I mean, we're trying to work with you here.
I know.
We are trying to work with you here.
I understand that.
But we need.
I'm trying to keep my law enforcement records.
We're not looking to take you to jail, but
We're not looking to do
we
that.
want to talk to a
I don't
supervisor.
care if you take the whole shit from me, like the vest and shit. I don't care if you take it. I mean,
Okay.
that'll keep me out of trouble.
But we want to talk to a supervisor.
I mean, it's on my phone.
In your phone? Alright, I'll go grab your phone. I washed my vest last night and I left all that. You haven't been to work in 2 weeks? So you haven't been to work in 2 weeks, but you're wearing the uniform pants, duty style looking shoes, and a vest carrier?
Well, I mean, like, I'm trying to go back to work, though.
The officers proceeded to question Mr. Jones to gather more information.
It's just weird to me that you weren't even recently on duty and you're wearing the vest carrier.
I mean, I just, like I said, I don't.
Where'd you get the vest carrier from? Did you order it online?
No.
From a friend? Or
I didn't get it off.
bought it at a store?
It's a police store over there in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
You can only be law enforcement to get it. I bought it like 4 months.
While the officers carried on with their investigation, the subject who had initially called 911 pulled over nearby and spoke with the officers. The following body cam footage captured the entire interaction between the subject and the officers. It's to be noted that the series of events recalled by Mr. Jones was quite different from the subject's story.
Second. Alright, tell me exactly what you just said.
Because he was dressed like a cop.
Yeah.
He had a sheriff thing, but it had sheriff written on the side right here.
Right.
And I live on 62 off of Adam Road.
290.
He was sitting in a driveway
251.
right beside 62 highway. And I pulled up and I was staring at him because he was in there kind of cockeyed. And I was like, we live on a one way in, one way out. And, you know, we always are watching for cars. And I sat there and I was staring at him. And I stared for about 10 minutes of staring at him. And I'm like, what the heck is this guy? It's kind of odd. He's in our neighbor's driveway. And I sat there and stared at him, and I drove off. He got right behind me, so I followed him. And he's driving along. He was right on me. And I was like, I'm gonna pull this on and give me a pop.
This is from over by the Harrah Agmar. From there all the way down to Sonic.
All the way to Sonic and Harrah. And I
Okay.
pulled into Sonic, he pulled in behind me. He gets out, and I said, can I help you, sir? He's like, well, I was wondering, what was your problem? You were staring at me over in the driveway. And I said, yeah, I was kind of curious who you was, because that's kind of odd that I didn't know who you was. I was kind of curious. I lived down this road. I was kind of see what was going on. And I was staring at you to see who you was. He goes, I'm a undercover cop for Wellston. And I run, my partner, I run with the highway patrolman out of Wellston. Okay. And I said, so, just be curious, you look pretty young. How old are you? It was, I'm 22 years old, just turned 22. I was like, hey, you gotta be a cop, be an investigator.
Right.
At this point, thanks to the subject's statements as a victim, it was clear that Mr. Jones had been impersonating law enforcement. Also, this meant that the officers now had the evidence to show that Mr. Jones had violated the law. Therefore, the officers placed Mr. Jones under arrest for the crime of impersonating law enforcement and stated that he'd also be charged with carrying an open container.
Yeah, I already know I'm going to jail.
Alright. Turn around and face the other way. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for impersonating law enforcement, alright? And then you also have a charge for transporting an open container.
Wow. My girlfriend could pick up my call.
Not at this time.
You know how long I'm going to be in jail because I'm from Tennessee?
Okay. Well, your mom lives here, so
Well, I know that.
I'm not too worried about that.
Well, I mean,
Alright, go ahead and step on out. I'm going to double check, make sure you don't have anything in your pockets or nothing.
We've already covered the punishment for impersonating law enforcement, but when it comes to an open container violation, Oklahoma law doesn't just prohibit drinking in a vehicle, it also prohibits transporting any container of alcohol which has already been opened, even if the driver is not drinking from it. It stated that a conviction of transporting an open container in Oklahoma is a misdemeanor offense, which can result in 6 months in county jail and $500 in fines. Ultimately, Mr. Jones was transported to the Oklahoma County Detention Center after the officer took written statements from the victim. Over there, Mr. Jones was booked for false impersonation of a peace officer and transporting an open container. Meanwhile, the vest, duty belt, radio lapel mic, knives, and alcohol were taken into evidence and submitted to Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office evidence locker. A few days later, Oklahoma County Sheriff Tommy Johnson commented on the incident by stating that, "We spoke with a witness who said Jackson stopped him, claiming to be an undercover police officer, and that Jackson seemed unusually aggressive. So the witness then called the police. They did exactly what they were supposed to do." Sheriff Johnson also added that according to Mr. Jones's cousin, who holds the position of jail administrator in Campbell County, Mr. Jones had previously been employed at the jail but was dismissed for impersonating an officer during his time there too. This proved that Mr. Jones was not working anywhere within law enforcement at the time of the incident. There have been no updates made by the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office as of the date of this recording, which would lead us to assume that Mr. Jones is still being held at the Oklahoma County Detention Center for his charges. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter